right. I'm
It's all
just
right,
gonna
Dave.
go. I'm gonna go through 1 through 10. I'm not doing point fives, point twos, point tens.
All right,
Sam, I love you, but
starting with Valentino.
uh, all right. Yes, starting with Valentino. Style. I'll just give him a a three because like honestly, like Shadowhawk is the only comic I ever really read of his. Like I've looked at his Guardians,
Yeah.
Normal Man, stuff like that. He's not a style guy. He's not a style guy. Creations, I'll give it a four just because Shadowhawk existed.
Okay.
And he looked cool,
Yeah, he
but
did.
honestly, he just broke people's backs and he had AIDS. Like, what superpower is that? What, I'm sorry, what superpower is that? What
Yeah.
do you do? Well, I have AIDS and I break people's backs.
Power to persevere.
Yeah, like, oh, you stole a purse? Well, fuck, I'm breaking your back and you're paralyzed for the rest of your life. Oh, you jaywalked? Well, paralyzation for you too, buddy. And then turnout, I mean, I'll give him like a seven
Yeah.
because he is integral to not just the alternative, comic scene, but he was such a driving force in getting Image, going and also like continuing as um, publisher through like the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yep.
So
Contributions.
sorry, Victor. Sorry. It's a
Way to ruin
35-year-old
Shadowhawk
spoiler.
spoilers. That's the
uh,
Cliff Notes version of Shadowhawk, but it's pretty much the whole thing.
yeah. And contributions, I'll also give him like a seven on that because he was doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes for years, even after like I don't even know how many issues Shadowhawk ran, maybe 10.
Yeah, I
I
think
I don't
so.
know. Yeah. And then personality, I kind of like his personality. He's off of Facebook now because like a sane person these days, you probably
Mm,
shouldn't be on
yeah.
Facebook. But I'll give him like a seven on personality.
So we got a seven on personality. All right. Wills.
Wills. Okay, style. Wilson's style is pretty awesome. I'm gonna put him at a seven. Um,
All right.
because like I mean like his style was a mix between Jim and Liefeld, at least it felt like.
Yeah.
You know, uh, three.
All
I
right.
mean, he did the look of
Not a big
Bishop.
fan of Wetworks.
I mean, is anybody? They looked
They
cool, and
looked
then
coolish. Yeah.
I feel bad because his family problems, that like all the personal problems he had to deal with when he stepped away. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think I read like two issues of Wetworks, and I'm like, yeah, I'm good. They look cool. That's about it.
Yeah.
Uh, Turnout. I mean, it's hard to really.
I vaguely remember lots of delays.
Yeah, because like I said, he had family illness and all
Hmm.
that. But his turnout in outside of that, I mean, I'll put him at a six. I'll be fair.
Okay.
I'll be fair.
Being generous. There we go.
His contributions, four, because like I don't know, yeah. And then personality, I'll give him an eight because the dude is the nicest guy
He's
and
super
very
nice.
friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right.
Uh,
Mr. Jim Lee.
Jim Lee style, 10.
Yeah.
I mean, Jim Lee is the reason there you could put Jim Lee as probably as much as Todd, the two of them are the most important people to have touched comics in the last 35 years, especially if you're looking at everybody that came after them. Like people today are still getting into comics because of Jim Lee
True.
and his style. Creations, I mean, honestly, if we're just talking about characters that he created, I mean, what, five? Like, who gives a fuck about the Wildcats except for Spartan?
Yeah.
He didn't create any X-Men, right? He didn't create anybody. Like, he's not a creator of any characters. And in the Batman and the DC stuff, like, he created Hush, but Jeff Loeb really, like, so as a creation, I find it, I struggle to think that he's done anything that like, oh, that character exists because of Jim Lee,
Yeah. True.
you know. Um, Turnout, I mean, 10. You know,
Boom.
there's nothing you can say that would refute that. Contributions to comics, 11? Is it possible to give him an 11? Like, you know, it's like our generation, Sam, your generation, like all of us, there is some reason we like comics or something in the comics world because of Jim Lee,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it's
Yeah.
undeniable. Like you can't refute that. And personality, you know, I'll give him an 8 because he's not like the other ones that I'm going to give a 10 to, but he's still got a good personality.
Yeah.
He did
A little
create
more reserved.
Sure.
Yeah.
But, you know, speaking to him in person, he's got a nice personality. I mean, yeah, he co-created Gambit and Omega. Well, okay, Ryan, take your X-Men fandom out of Omega Red and explain to me if Omega Red really makes a fucking difference in comics.
Yeah, right.
Gambit, I
No.
won't. Yeah, I mean, Omega Red's a wasted
Take that, Ryan.
opportunity because Omega Red looks dope and they didn't do anything interesting with him.
He's gonna go cry on his stack of
No, he won't.
the
because
first appearance of Omega Red comics he's got in his basement.
That X-Men
I mean,
four.
I love Gambit, and I forgot that he did co-create Gambit because even though he wasn't on that issue, Claremont came to him with that, and yeah,
He says
But-
fair. He says fair.
yeah. Well,
And
Ryan,
Brandon wants a pouches column. You know, Rob would be winning that.
oh yeah, there is no other,
no
there
other
is no other
pouch
person
master.
that, yeah.
He
But,
co-created Jubilee as well, but I mean that's just really a play on Curry Kelly, right?
No, that was Silvestri was the artist on Jubilee.
Oh, really? I thought that was Jim Lee that had created that.
No, I mean because he wasn't in the X office yet. That was still during Silvestri's run.
Yep.
Okay, Larsen style.
Larsen.
I'm gonna give him a 9 because his style only gets deducted 1 point because of Jack Kirby's existence.
Mhm. True.
Creations, I mean, he's getting a 10 because Savage
Yeah.
Dragon is awesome and Savage
still
Dragon is
going.
still going.
Yeah.
Yeah. Turnout. Remind me what a turnout is again.
Just basically
Productivity.
Oh,
Productivity.
his work. Oh, 10.
Yeah.
You know, we're he's gonna be
Productivity over the span of his career.
yeah. Contributions, I'll give him also a 10 because not only is Savage Dragon a huge thing, you know, he took over publishing Image after Valentino and like he ushers in the Kirkman era and ushers in I'm not 100% sure if he was publishing when Saga came out, but it's very important to
Yeah,
what
the
kept Image
infamous car ride to the airport with Kirkman.
Yep.
Yeah.
Personality. I'll give him a 7. I like his personality, but I understand that
I
personality.
like it too. He can
not
be a little
meant-
abrasive to some people though.
It's not meant for everybody to digest.
Yeah. All right.
So,
Moving on to Mr. Mark Silvestri.
style 10.
Style
that-
at 10 for sure.
Yeah. Because there's nobody like him. I mean, and you think about, you know, the two main guys we think about that came from Top Cow, you know, that are products of a Silvestri style are Finch and Turner.
Yeah.
And like we don't have Silvestri style, we don't get those guys.
Yep.
Creations, I mean, I give him a 6, just based off the X-Men stuff. Because like Cyber,
I was gonna
no,
say,
I'm sorry,
yeah.
I apologize. Let's move that to an 8. I always forget about Witchblade and Darkness.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and
a
Witchblade
good consideration. Yeah.
and Witchblade pierced the mainstream more than most people realize. I mean,
Did.
you know, Yancey Butler playing her on TV is a huge thing, and the Darkness video games is a huge thing too. So
Productivity over his span of his career.
yeah,
That's hard because
it's 7.
Yeah.
You know, because it goes like this: it goes up, and then it goes down, and then it goes back up, and then it goes down, and it's like,
Yeah.
you know, for some of us that really loved his art, we were we missed a lot of years where we should have had regular art from him
For
on a
sure.
regular, basis.
Contributions.
I give him a 7 just because like that thing I just said was like up and down, up and down, up and down. Top Cow is great, but it robbed us of a lot of great art that we would have gotten from him.
Personality.
I give him a 9. I mean, after talking to him for 2 hours on Direct Edition, I really had a lot of fun with him, and he's got a great personality.
Yeah, he was very likable on all the podcasts I saw him on when he was talking about darkness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so he gets the 9 on that one.
So, hey, chat, how am I doing?
You're doing amazing, dude.
Killing it.
Okay, until this, then they're gonna gripe a little bit. This one, Mr. McFarlane.
I mean, he's getting, well, okay, he's definitely getting a 10 for style because he's Todd, and like many of us, and like people, I mean, it's attested on both sides, the hate and the love, right? People hated it. The old heads hated it when he came into Spider-Man because it wasn't the John Romita Marvel style Spider-Man type thing. And for us, we were like, holy shit, Spider-Man's cool.
Yeah.
So he gets that. Creations, I mean, Spawn, 10. Even though he's not drawing it, even though it's not the greatest story, like Spawn is still, kids these days, right? They grew up and Deadpool was coming into his own, or Harley Quinn was coming into her own, stuff like that. Spawn was our new huge thing that we fell in love with as kids. Productivity, I mean,
are we counting just comics?
If we're just counting comics, it may be a different number than if we're just counting productivity as
I think
criteria, Sam.
Yeah, I think you got to look at the bigger picture, like toys, movies, all that stuff counts.
27,000 then, because he not only changed the comic industry, but he changed the toy industry.
Yeah.
And so, 10. Contributions, I mean, another 10, like the same thing, right? Like, you remember Sam, how old are you? I forget.
I'm going to be 33 in a couple months.
Okay, so when me and James were young, toys were just like this plastic molded piece of shit.
Yeah.
Right? Because after He-Man and Turtles, like toys, just especially sports toys, were just these plastic molding pieces of shit. He comes along, and everything that we have today is a byproduct of him taking that chance and working. And then music videos, he changed a lot of how people looked at music videos with animated. So
I'm jumping ahead of you, but I already put a 10 in personality.
Yeah. Hey, bud. Bud. Yeah, bud. Yeah, bud. You should actually change that 10 to a yeah, bud.
Yeah. All right. So he's got a perfect score. Now probably the most polarizing figure in the group.
Yeah. Well, I'm Brandon. Yes. I mean, I worked at EB in 97, 98, 97 to 98. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember. All right. So Rob Liefeld, who I am a fan of, always have been, I'm going to give his style an 8. And here's why. I'm not even going to bring up any of these stupid kind of things that people say about, what he can and can't draw. The energy that he drew with, and especially in those first 5 to 6 years of his career, it felt fresher than Todd. Like Todd was a better artist, but Rob's energy that he drew with was amazing. I mean, he took a book that nobody cared about and turned it around completely in 8 issues or 9 issues. And that doesn't happen because of it doesn't happen by chance. It happens because the person's doing the thing. And then X-Force goes on to sell X amount of million copies, and there's a reason for it.
Yep.
I agree.
Creations, 10 because whatever anybody wants to say, the man created Deadpool, and that's a 10.
Yep.
So productivity, you know, it's interesting. Like he never really stopped putting books out.
That's the
But
thing, yeah.
they
But
weren't
the
good.
quality may have suffered for it, right? But he never stopped. So it's
He
like
never stopped. So I give him an 8 on productivity.
contributions.
I mean, he is the one. He's the one that Image was his idea. 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like even if we took Deadpool, we took everything else out of it. The fact that Image was his idea, that he pushed for it and got those guys to say yes, and then once they got Todd, I mean, that's a 10.
And saw the Andre Agassi ad that gave him the idea for the
That's right.
Image
That's
is
right.
everything. Personality.
Oh, this is a tough one.
Yeah.
Because I'm
Depends on if you it depends on if you've slighted him.
Right? It depends on the day too, because like there are
Yeah.
days where I really enjoy his enthusiasm for
Yeah, me too.
the medium and for drawing and for all of it. And then he has to go into, you know, troll mode, and I hate that. I really don't like.
Yeah.
He's a better person than that. So I'll just 6. How about a 6?
All right. So Dave Areno has completed his questionnaire here. So we're gonna go through and let me do this real quick.
16 plus 20, 36, 42.
8, 10, 8. I know you're already doing the math for me, but I double check everything on a calculator
okay.
these days, you know.
That's okay. I don't
42. So that gives us oh geez, the breaking stuff over here. 42.
This is one of those days when chicks want to wake up. Oh,
one of my favorite songs as a young man. Played it in my minivan with a stereo system that was more expensive than the van. that's what we did in those days, right?
That is
all right. I'm adding
true.
up, getting your totals. So we got 42, 50, 41, 46, 43, 28, and 28. So you get a 278 because you said we're going to average these, right?
Correct. Yeah, I figured we'd get all 3 of our averages and then just.
All right.
Yep.
Sam, you're going to go next.
All right, let's send it, baby. We'll go a little quicker here.
All right, do it.
I think that Dave kind of covered most of the bases.
He did. Yeah, he definitely gave the context to each of the categories and individuals.
This is what you sign up for when you have me on your show. I do talk professionally.
Ever the professional, as we knew he would be. All right, Sam.
All right, so for Valentino, I think I kind of have to agree with putting him a little bit lower on the scale. I don't foresee, you know, when I think of Jim Valentino, I don't really think of his comics, to be honest with you. So I think I'm going to give him a 3 as well.
Okay.
And then for creations, I mean, you do have Normal Man and a couple other things that are out there. And I think that we probably have to give him a 4.
Okay.
Not a whole lot, just some. Turnout, I think that he did do quite a bit of work, and you also have to kind of put into perspective that he is older than the rest of the Image guys. So he was, you know, making comics on the independent scene, you know, 10, 15 years prior to everybody else even making comics to begin with.
Yeah, true.
So I'm going to give him, I think, an 8 on Turnout.
Okay.
And then contributions, you know, he was a publisher at Image for a long while. He was, you know, responsible for things like Powers, for example, which was very popular at the time. So with that being said, I think that I will give him an 8.
Okay.
And then our last one here, personality. I also think he's a cool dude. If you watch interviews with him, like he did the shoot interview with Kayfabe, he has a good personality. And I think that I also jive with kind of his instinctual art things. Obviously, he came from that underground community, so I do definitely jive with that. I think I'll give him an 8.
All right. Lots of 8s for Mr. Valentino there.
Crazy.
Yeah,
eights.
I think that he was going to be the kind of the dark horse of the group, just
Okay.
judging off of all the
That's-
background stuff that he's done.
Yeah.
That's a different publisher.
Don't even get me started on Mike Richardson. I got some stories about him.
Okay, so Mr. Portasio.
Yes. Style. I think Dave hit the nail right on the head with the 7. I don't think that he's any less than that. I don't think he's any more than that. Definitely better than average, but not as good as the other guys.
Okay.
And then we have creations. Yeah, that I'm giving him a 2. I'm gonna go less than
Ooh.
Dave on that one.
All right.
I'm just being honest.
No, that's
that's the whole
fine.
point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And then we got turnout. I think that 6 is also fair for turnout. They're definitely very average.
Okay.
All right. And then we have contributions. I think, Dave, you hit the nail right on the head with that as well. Give him a 4. Nothing to really write home about. Personality. Yeah, he's a hell of a dude. And every time that like I see him in your videos, Dave, I always think he's just like the best way I can describe him is just kind of like the grandpa that you wish you always had. You know what I mean? Just very soft spoken.
Yeah.
So definitely probably gonna I'll give him a 9. Give him
nice.
give him a bump up.
There
Make up for that last point that we docked off him.
I mean, once he appears on Direct Edition, we'll finally find out how his personality
Yeah, you've been working on that one for a while, buddy. I can't
Yeah.
wait. Can't wait for that.
Oh yeah.
All right, so Mr. Jim Lee.
All right, so I think I'm gonna ruffle some feathers on this one.
Oh, I knew you were a fan.
All us old guys.
So
My youth.
I like Jim Lee, and I understand his influence, and that's undeniable. Like you can't, really speak on his influence on comics. It's undeniable. However, I think that his influence on comics was so great that it was kind of a detriment to everybody else because now you have an industry full of Jim Lee clones, unfortunately. And I don't blame that on Jim Lee. I just blame it on everybody else that kind of looked at his stuff because of his influence. I don't care for his style because I think it's a little too mainstream. When I had first seen it, in Punisher, X-Men, for example, I like that stuff. But once he starts getting into the DC Batman-y kind of stuff, it kind of lost me a little bit because it did become so refined in that mainstream sort of way. It's definitely his art is safe, is what I'll say. I'll give him a 9.
Oh, I thought you were going to give him a way worse rating after that diatribe.
So I think that you have to kind of put into perspective like all of the, again, just his overall influence of the industry. It's both a blessing and a curse.
True. Can be, yeah. Creations.
All right.
You were blown away by all his creations, weren't you?
All right. So I mean, let's just run down the Omega Red first of all. I mean, Dave, you again hit the nail right on the head. Like who gives a shit about Omega Red?
He looks awesome, but that's about it.
That's literally what he has.
Style over substance.
And I'm sure that the Rule 34 stuff that's been made of Omega Red that's floating around out there, I'm sure is tasty with the hentai tentacles going on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like, what else did he really do besides that? That it's like the stuff that he did at Image, I really don't care about. I'm just being honest with you. Man, I think I had to give him like a 3.
All right. Productivity.
10. Let's just be honest. The dude's a workhorse and just doesn't stop. And especially if you ever like watch his live streams that he does and just like the speed that dude draws at, it's actually insane.
It is.
I mean, he is a legend for a reason, and the guy is still, like you said, he can still draw. During COVID, those 60 sketches or 60 pieces he did to help the comic shops were like the best art he's ever done.
Yep. And I love when he inks and finishes his own work. Like that style of Jim Lee, I enjoy that even more than his amalgamation that he becomes with Williams polishing his stuff.
Yeah, all respect to Scott Williams and Alex Sinclair. Stay the fuck off Jim Lee's work.
Contributions, Sam.
Let's see here. All right, so I'm gonna give him a 9. Again, you have to be realistic with everything that he's done. I think that he saved DC kind of from shitting the bed a little bit, but obviously, they kind of waned a little bit, but then now obviously they're back again. But they did pull themselves out of a hole because of his contributions, and then I would say Jeff Johns to some extent too helped out a lot with DC. So yeah, I'll give him a 9 there.
All right. So we got 9, 3, 10, 9. And what do you give him on personality?
He's kind of a wet blanket. I don't know how else to really describe his personality. He's like, he doesn't want to offend anybody. You know what I mean? And I get it. Like, you want to play it safe. You want to be political, especially being in the position that he's in, being an executive and everything like that. But a 7.
Okay. I mean, I also got to take into account his upbringing,
Sure. Yes.
So, but that doesn't mean that you can't rate his personality. However,
yeah.
Fuck you, Jim.
Oh no, he was very, very nice. When I spoke to him in Japan, because I talked to him for like 4 or 5 minutes.
Nice. So, Mr. Erik Larsen, I have a feeling he's going to get pretty high numbers from Sam.
Oh,
let's see.
Just put 10s across the board. No.
Knew it.
Yes, style. I'm giving him a 10. I mean, out of all the Image dudes, he's probably my favorite in terms of his cartooning. I think that's because Savage Dragon, especially nowadays, like if you read Savage Dragon, it's like he just doesn't give a shit anymore. He just does whatever he wants.
Yes, we've talked about the infamous shooting that poor girl across the room page.
Just love Erik.
He does whatever he wants.
Yeah, he's earned it too.
Sure has.
Yep. Creations.
10. Let's be honest, Savage Dragon rules.
Oh yeah.
It's probably. I think that Savage Dragon is probably the strongest Image character. I mean, obviously Spawn is way more popular, but in the grand scheme of things, it's like Spawn. It's like the writing. Obviously, it's whatever.
Yeah.
Savage Dragon is actually a good book, like pretty much all the way through. Like you can jump on at any moment, and it's like you can pick up and go.
I'm not going to disagree with you on that at all.
Productivity.
I'm going to say let's give him a 10. Again, somebody who just doesn't stop. I wish that he would release Savage Dragon issues more often than every like 4 or 5 months when they do come out. But I get it, man. He's busy, doing whatever the hell he does at Image. So
well, no, it's not that. He was doing somewhat monthly, but then Marvel got him on that Spider-Man Noir mini, so he couldn't do both. And the mini's great, but he's Savage Dragon 288 or 289, whatever. The next one is coming out next month or March. I think it's on solicits now.
Contributions.
I'll give him a 7. Obviously, he was publisher for a little while at Image, but besides that, though, it's like really hasn't done much in terms of like the industry as a whole. Didn't do anything really with toys. Just kind of stayed in his own box with comics.
And last but not least, personality.
That, like, how do you even describe his personality besides just dry, just extremely dry? I'll give him an 8. I think that's fair. I like his personality, but yes, he's very dry. I wouldn't say that he's abrasive in like the way that Rob Liefeld is, but he definitely is an acquired taste where just very monotone, very dry. But like if you get what he's saying and kind of jive with his monotoneness. I don't know how else to really describe it. He's funny, So
Yeah, he can be funny for sure. What about Silvestri on style?
10.
All right.
That's not even going to be a debate. I don't even need to discuss that. We all can agree on that, I think.
I agree. Yeah.
Man, creations. Cyber Force is dog shit. Like
Ripclaw's cool.
Ripclaw's cool. Yeah.
I don't know what else to really even say about that. Like if I'm gonna give him a 6 in creations.
All right. Productivity.
Yeah, I think that's 7. Probably the same as Dave. I think that's fair.
All right.
Yeah.
Contributions.
So this one's interesting because he did have the TV shows and everything like that, and then I think that he did more for licensed comics than people think. That he did more for licensed comics that I guess that people really think about, because like that Tomb Raider book was actually good, and obviously he didn't draw it or anything like that. It's his publishing company. Licensed comics at the time were not great. Like there were a handful of them that were passable. Like obviously Ren and Stimpy, Beavis and Butthead in the '90s, those were good licensed comics. But besides that, they were very hit and miss. And I think that he kind of proved that licensed comics could be good. They can be drawn well. They can be written well. So with that being said, I think I'll give him an 8.
All right. We got an 8 on that. And then when we get to the personality category.
Do you know who this is? This is Mark motherfucking Silvestri. Give him a 10.
If I have him back on again, I'm going to ask if I can introduce him like that.
You should. Yeah, that'd be awesome. That was so great. When the recruiting was going on.
Yep, and he called and
called
Rob was trying
up.
to poach. I think it was Turner, right? Rob was trying
Turner.
to poach Turner.
Yeah, it was Turner.
Yeah.
All right, so we got Silvestri knocked out here for a grand total of 41. Now to the Todd father.
Oh, the Todd father. Style. I mean, we got to go 10, of course. You would actually kind of laugh because like Todd is one of the reasonings why I even started drawing comics to begin with. And when I first started just doodling in sketchbooks and shit, I was trying desperately to be a McFarlane clone, and I did not have the skill to do so, obviously. But I was trying desperately to be a McFarlane clone, so he's definitely one of the biggest reasons why I started drawing comics to begin with.
Creations.
Man. Let's give him a 9. Like I said, I think that Spawn's a cool character, but he's not the greatest. Hasn't been the greatest written thing over time. I like King Spawn. I like Gunslinger Spawn. Honestly, I like his ancillary characters more than I like Spawn. Like I'm a big fan of Haunt as well. Cygor rules. Yes.
Sam.
Yes.
Ego created Venom.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I forgot to mention it, and then I realized it. I'm like, don't forget. Anyway, sorry, I need to cut you off.
No, that's true. I mean, I did not give him another point.
You want him? You want to put him to 10?
Give him another point
on the creations.
Got to give him another point.
All right. Yeah, Victor just sprung up in the chat saying the same thing. All right, productivity.
Let's give him a 7. I think that he could draw way more, and he knows that he can draw more. He doesn't have to. I mean, the dude is sitting on a mountain of money from his toy business. So it's like, why waste your time drawing comics if you don't have to? But at the end of the day, it's like I wish that he was drawing more comics. So
yeah, like doing something more than just these covers, like because he does tons of covers, and it's great to see. But it's like, yeah, I'd love to see him put his hand, put everything else aside and just do a book, just one.
Yeah.
And that's like one of the things that everybody loves about Todd is just his unconventional page layouts. And it's like that's one of the things that I love about him the most. And it's like you don't see that on covers, you know.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
Okay, contributions.
10. Like, let's just be honest. I mean, there's the toy business in general. That's just a slam dunk. Like Dave had said, kind of changed the music industry. Definitely changed even the animation industry. Did not only just for the music videos that he was doing, but the Spawn cartoon as well. I think that the animated series for Batman had come out prior to that, but Spawn definitely the animation style on that is definitely way more refined than it was in the animated series.
Yeah.
And I believe, I don't think I'm wrong in saying this, is that was the first American comic R-rated show. Like,
Yep.
Invincible, does Invincible even get made if Spawn doesn't get made 30 years ago? I mean, it
Yeah.
probably would have, but still, I think, it
Paved
was
the
an
way.
adult show.
Yeah. And what do we got on personality?
Hey, bud.
Hey, bud.
I think I'll give him a 9, and the reason being is because there have been times that I've listened to interviews with him where he kind of comes off like, don't get me wrong, like obviously you guys know me, like I hustle my ass off and I'm always about hustling your ass off, but he kind of gets to that hustle culture towards kind of toxic. You know what I mean? Like I've heard him say things like, "Oh, one of my cons, like I don't go to the bathroom," and like you can go to the bathroom, and it's like, Todd, you need to fucking chill out and like go take a shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I'll give him a 9 just because of just like that side of the hustle culture is kind of like,
all right,
to me.
He's said in the past, because his daughter is a doctor, his daughter has said stuff to him like that. You can't.
Yeah, because he doesn't drink or
not
eat.
drink water. Yeah,
he doesn't drink or eat. All right, down to Mr. Rob Liefeld. Is it Liefeld? Are you Liefeld?
Robert Liefeld.
French mom.
Yes. On style.
So I have recently kind of fallen in love with his work because unfortunately, obviously I'm like, 15, 20 years younger than you guys. And
Rub it in if you would.
Sorry. But when I was, growing up and going into comic shops and always hearing older, guys talking shit about Rob Liefeld, and I had zero just knowledge, never really looked at his comics, to be honest with you. So I was always of the mind of this dude sucks, so I just never bothered. And probably like honestly, kayfabe kind of was like, like Liefeld's the shit. Like you need to look at his stuff, and that's when I first started. Was like, oh, like yeah, Youngblood rules. Like this dude can draw his ass off, and people can talk shit about hiding grass, feet in the grass, feet in smoke, and whatever else. But at the end of the day, how many comics has Rob Liefeld sold, and how many have you sold?
Right.
That's the way that I fucking see it. So it's style. Let's give him a 9.
Okay. I made me think of, did you see that speech he gave to the retailers at that con recently?
Yeah.
Where he was counting how many feet were in the upcoming book,
that's right.
just to make everybody happy. Says, I know one thing people want more than anything in their comics, more feet. There are exactly 47 feet in the upcoming issue. All right, what do we got on creations?
I think you got to give him a 9. I mean, I'm a big fan of Youngblood, and I honestly think that they could have done more with Youngblood because obviously the whole celebrity superhero thing, I think there's a really cool idea. He just never did anything with it, unfortunately. But Deadpool, I mean, that's like one of the most popular characters on the planet.
Yeah.
So
I even forgot to mention Cable.
Yeah.
So
that's true. It's like when you look at everything that dude has done, it's like it's undeniable. It really is.
Productivity. 9.
Another one of those dudes that just never stopped, and like you had said, James, kind of to his own detriment because the dude just didn't take time to actually look at his work, and he was just rolling like a freight train,
Yep. Contributions.
I think this is a complicated one because you get into all the stuff that he did in the background for Image, and then I think that him as a boss from all of the extreme days and hearing, guys that worked underneath him and how he treated them, how he paid them. I'm big into that, especially, workers' rights, getting paid what you're worth and all that kind of stuff. So I look at that as a contribution as well because he was helping out the comics community as a whole, making sure that, his dudes were getting paid, were getting work.
Letting everybody know he bought all their cars when he pointed out the window.
Yeah, exactly.
You look in that parking lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a double-edged sword. It really is.
He did pride himself in the fact that he was paying people very well.
And
yeah, for sure.
That was also a detriment too.
Yep.
So it's like
contributions. What are you thinking?
Let's do.
Victor says blink twice if Rob has you in his basement.
Let's do an 8.
Sam is in a basement. Yes. All right, we're going for an 8 on contributions. Last but not least, on Mr. Liefeld, personality.
Oh boy. Yeah, I listen to Robservations. Like every time he puts it out, I listen to it, and he is very much old man yelling at the clouds type of shit all the time. And I'm sure I don't have social medias, as you guys are aware, and I'm well aware of the stuff that he posts on social medias and just going after people. It's like, dude, you're in your late 50s, early 60s. It's like, grow the fuck up. You know what I mean? But at the same time, though, his comic knowledge is better than anybody else's on the planet. His enthusiasm, it's like, who else has more enthusiasm to comics? It's like maybe Ed to that extent.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm just being honest. It's like, I've never seen somebody who is like still like a 10-year-old kid with comic books like Rob Liefeld is.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give him a 7. I think that's fair.
Sure.
I like it. All right. So bringing you into a grand total of 42. All right. Let me add these up and then we will breeze through mine. We will land this plane.
Oh, yeah. We're wrapping her up.
We got 42. Go ahead, guys. I'm going to add these silently here.
Think about Rob, too. I mean, like Ryan said, like, he spends a lot of time dogpiling on Marvel because he feels that they wronged him. And it's like, yeah, but you could just put your energy towards something a lot more positive. And, a lot of times I hear him spew out facts of stuff maybe in the last 10 years, 15 years, that definitely aren't based on facts. He hates Joe Quesada. He hates Marvel.
Yeah.
It's like every time he talks about it, I'm like, come on, dude, just move on to something that like we really want to hear you talk about.
Yeah.
But he's got the right to have his own podcast and say what he wants. And, that's cool. I just can't always listen to it.
I just realized I'm totaling this wrong. It should be the total across the board for each person, not the total of everybody's.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's all right. I'll fix it at the end when I do mine. All right. So down to me. All right, James, what do you think about Jim Valentino? Okay.
I can be you. I can be you.
You can be me.
So
hey guys.
Hold on.
Keep it nerdy.
So James, what do you think about Jim Valentino?
God, I sound that sexy. Damn, dude.
Arm wrestling, jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, jiu-jitsu, arm wrestling. I'm really big and strong. Yeah. All right, let me see. Valentino style. I'm gonna give him a 4 on style. It's something that I never like. It just didn't really excite me ever. I actually like some of his older, like the Guardian stuff better than the stuff he did on Shadowhawk. Like I can see the Perez in his work, especially on the Guardian stuff. So don't hate it. have a respect for the fundamentals and everything, but I'm gonna put him at a 4. Creations, like, again, nothing greatly notable for me in the creations category other than Shadowhawk, and I think you sum that up pretty well, Dave, with that
With the summary of
the
Shadowhawk.
summary of Shadowhawk. Like, I think he's most well known for that Guardians run, right?
Yeah, I
And
think
then
so, at least
obviously
in Marvel.
his indie roots, like, so I would say, like, given that he's a OG like indie guy and he understands that game and really supports like people being creative, I'll give him a 4 on the creation scale here. Productivity, gosh, it's hard because like he didn't really he hasn't really done anything since Shadowhawk that I'm aware of, right? Has he done anything I'm not thinking of?
No,
Like,
because then he just kind of went into a publisher role after that.
yeah,
and
and he's pretty much been retired
yeah, and he is retired
as
too.
an artist. So thinking about the time when he was working, like I'm probably gonna put that at like a 3, but I
Mhm.
could be misinformed just because I don't know a whole lot about his overall career other than the Guardian stuff and Shadowhawk. Contributions, I feel like he goes up because what he did with publishing and everything, and like he gave Kirkman a chance
Yeah.
when Kirkman lied to him about the premise of Walking Dead and all of that. So uh, that makes his stock go up in my book that he's willing to give somebody a chance like that. So I'm gonna put him at I'm gonna a conservative 7 on the contributions. Personality kind of strikes me as is kind of a little grumpy Gus, kind of older, quiet dude.
A little bit.
I
Yeah.
don't get to see a lot of stuff from him. Sam, you said you've seen some old interviews and stuff. What was your read on him?
One of my favorite lines from him is, "I can't stand primitive art. Stop making it."
Okay. Doesn't like primitive art. All right. Uh gosh, I don't know. I haven't consumed enough Valentino interviews to really give an accurate opinion on this, but I'm gonna put that at a I think it would be very nice to say a 5. That's what I'll put there.
He's a straight shooter. If you watch
Yeah.
the image documentaries and
Yeah,
the
I have
kayfabe
seen him in
interviews.
that. Yeah, I did like
Yeah.
what I've seen in that, and what I've heard Liefeld say about conversation they've had and stuff back in the day. Portatio for me, as somebody who draws, like I always dug his rendering and
Mhm.
his understanding of anatomy. Like before he had his health issues and he had to relearn how to draw, like he was pretty much on the cutting edge of like the how to draw stuff and like showing people how the muscles interconnected and everything and all of that. So I got to put him for me personally, he's going to be a 9.
Okay.
Creations, he did co-create Bishop. So and I always dug how Bishop looked and everything. Outside of that,
Mullet and all, baby.
yeah, the mullet
yeah.
and all, and the M on the eye and all of that. And I enjoyed Wetworks just because of how it looked and because it was Portatio drawing it. So I'm gonna put him at a 7 for me personally at creations. Productivity, like I remember a lot of stuff being delayed
Mhm.
and all of that. It's like if we're talking about the X-Men stuff, like he did quite a good run on that. Um, I'll put him at a 5.
I mean, I wish he stayed on X-Men.
I do
You know,
too.
what could get like 30 issues from him
Would
would
have
have
been
kept me
killer.
reading, and yeah, till
Yeah.
past 300.
Contributions. If we're talking about just within comics, it wouldn't be super high, but he does a lot of teaching of up and coming artists, and he's been doing that for many years. So he teaches in the Philippines, basically kind of runs an art school part-time when he's over there, and mentors a lot of people. So not so much his contributions to the comic industry, but more for what he's doing, giving back to up and coming creators. I know he did a lot for like Lionel Yu and stuff like that to help him with his career. I'm gonna give him a 7 on contributions. Personality, like I haven't personally got to meet him, but I've always very much liked what I've seen from him, and I know Ryan Benjamin highly respects him as well. I'm gonna give him an 8 on that.
Yeah, they're buddies, the two of them.
Yeah, and I respect Ryan's opinion of people. So Jim Lee, for me personally, he's gonna be a 10. Especially as somebody coming up from that era and into his art style, it was like game changer. I think for a lot of us, it just looked cool. But I do like when he inks himself. I think he's way better than, as much as I love Scott Williams. I think Jim on his own inks is pretty phenomenal. Creations, like, yeah, nothing great with Wildstorm as far as Wildcats, X-Men stuff. Omega Red looked cool, but not a lot of substance. Hush was awesome. So I'll probably put him at a 7.
What's your opinion on Hush 2?
Hush 2, the quality is not I'm struggling with Hush 2 to be I'm trying to not be overly critical and realize that he like me and Dave is also aging, and I feel like his proportions have changed on his figures, and there's some things I've seen with like short arms on Batman and stuff that I'm like, oh, like something's a little, like either this is rushed or he's just not catching the things he used to catch. So I've been a little more critical of the art on Hush 2. But at the end of the day, it's friggin' Jim Lee, and I'm gonna pick up anything that he does, and it still looks great, you know.
You're a better man than me. I clocked out in that second issue. I was like, all right, I'm good.
I didn't say I'm reading it. I'm buying it to look at Jim Lee artwork, man. No, I tried to read it, and I was like, no, I'm good.
Especially with 2 amazing Batman books happening right now, and like, it
and
really makes that one look bad.
Absolute. Because I checked out Absolute first, obviously, and then it's like you can't go from Absolute to that. It's just night and day difference.
And what Fraction and Jorge are doing is also fantastic as well.
Productivity. I mean, the guy has been a workhorse, and he draws his ass off all the time, and gives back to the community on his Twitch streams, helping people. That would kind of go in the contributions category. He's done some big runs on books too, like consistently since the start of his career. So I'm going to give him a 9 on that. Contributions. I think he did a lot with the studio environment and mentoring people. I know, like, Ryan Benjamin, again, going back to Ryan Benjamin, speaks really highly of the mentoring process. That was like how much access they had to Jim and how much help that he provided them in improving their artwork and everything. So just that alone, like combined with everything else, I think I'll put him at like an 8. Personality, I think he's kind of a quiet guy, but I've seen things with him to where he opens up a little bit and he's more relaxed, and I really like his personality, especially when he kind of jokes around a little bit. And I remember seeing him kind of open up a little bit in the old Stan Lee comic book greats videos too, and kind of sparring back and forth with McFarlane and stuff, which cracked me up. So I'll give him an 8 on the personality. Larsen,
You son of a
gosh,
bitch! I swear to God.
I love. No, you're good. I love Larson's style. I always have. I think arguably his run on Amazing Spider-Man was vastly underappreciated after he got on after Todd. I think
Sure.
it's some of the best work of his career.
Revenge of the Sinister Six. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I've always loved his style. So for me, his style's a 10. Creations, I gotta agree. Like Savage Dragon, it's up there for me. It's a solid premise. Yeah, just everything he's done, he's gonna get high numbers from me. I'm gonna put him at a 9. Productivity,
We
man.
stand Erik Larsen here. We stand Erik Larsen.
Yeah, productivity. Like the fact that he's still making comics is
Yeah.
huge. So, like I don't feel like he's ever really stopped, despite even like crazy challenges in his life and everything else. So I'm gonna put him at a 10 there.
Real quick, do you happen to have that painting, Dave? 'Cause I don't think James has ever seen it.
Yeah,
You know
I'll
what I'm
grab
talking
yeah.
about?
I'll grab it. You guys keep going.
Contributions. I'm gonna say contributions. Well, he gave us Dragon. Continues to give us Dragon. He did the work in Megaton. He's been like a very much the whole thing with him like helping Kirkman and everything is huge for me. So I'm gonna give him a 9 there.
You want a full screen?
Yeah, whenever.
I'll give you the full screen, buddy. There you go.
So
Oh wow.
this is from 1981. This is before he was a professional.
Wow.
And his local store was what is now the Comics Place in Bellingham.
Yeah.
And they had a bunch of his stuff, and I know the owners of Comics Place, so they let me buy this.
Holy cow, dude.
It's a homage to, I want to say, a page in FF57. It's a Kirby homage.
Yep.
But yeah, it's signed right there, Erik Larsen, 1981.
What medium is it in?
I mean, it's a little watercolor, but marker. I can definitely tell that this is marker here.
Yeah.
So maybe it's marker and watercolor.
That's got to be one of your prized pieces, dude.
Yeah, I love it. I mean,
That's
I absolutely
amazing.
love this thing.
That is amazing. I'm very jealous right now. Maybe the most jealous I've been of you, other than that you've had Todd on and I haven't yet.
Well, I'm sorry.
Yet.
I mean, I'm not, but I'm sorry.
Yet. Okay. Personality. I've always like enjoyed his personality on stuff that I've seen. I'm gonna put him on a 7 there, just because I know he can be a little quiet and monotone and gruff. Silvestri.
I think it's just on the spectrum, is what
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Silvestri gets a 10 on style. That's a no-brainer. Creations. Yeah, Ripclaw was cool. But Witchblade and all of that, like I think that's that gives him high marks there. I'm gonna put him at a 9. Productivity, I'm gonna give him that one's tough just because he had such a big break. And I know he was working on that Batman Joker Deadly Duo for like almost 10 years before it came out, like silently behind the scenes. I might be giving him a little more of a higher number than he deserves, but I think I'm gonna put him at a 7. Contributions, again, Witchblade, like what Sam was saying about the licensed comics, all of that, with like the Tomb Raider one was great. And also like the guy gave Michael Turner a chance.
Yeah.
When Michael Turner started, he was not the Michael Turner that we know. Like and Silvestri had the patience to like finally find what clicked with him, and you know, so just on that alone, I gotta give him a 9. And then personality, like I've liked everything I've seen of Mark. I'm gonna give him a 9. And then Todd, this is easy. 10.
Clean sweep it.
10. Where this is the hard part. I could give him a 9 on this, on the productivity, just because he hasn't drawn anything regularly. So he gets a point deducted there from me, just out of sadness that I don't get to see Todd actually drawing a book every now and
Yeah.
again. Contributions got to be a 10. Personality for me is a 10. Rob, style means that it's doesn't always have to mean that you like it, but like Sam was saying, his stuff has always been exciting. And I remember when I was younger, there was nothing like that, and it just, something about it just appealed to us when we saw it. And I think Sam's gaining an appreciation in retrospect, looking at it and being like, yeah, there's something to this. It's exciting. Like, the quality varies, but it's definitely up there. Now then, my artist side of me, and being able to spot all the flaws and all of these things, that's what's going to take it to like a 9 for me. But I don't think it's because he doesn't know how to draw. I think it's just he gets going, and sometimes he just doesn't care, and he doesn't spend as much time on certain things as he should. Creations, like, you got to give him a 10. Deadpool and Cable alone. Productivity, I got to give him a 10, because the guy hasn't stopped after all these years, when pretty much everybody else has, as far as these founders go. Contributions got to be a 10 for me. Personality's the hard one, man. Sometimes I really like Rob, and then sometimes he rubs me the wrong way.
That's exactly how we all
I
feel.
love the passionate Rob that loves comics. I don't love the Rob that says he doesn't argue with trolls, and then the next day I open up X and he's arguing with somebody and berating them and telling them how stupid they are and stuff. And the stuff with the podcast has definitely turned into a shit on Marvel every episode, how Marvel is failing podcast here recently. So I'm hoping it gets back to the positive, let's talk about, how much we love comics aspect of it. But he's a big personality, and I do love his love of comics, and he truly does love comics probably more than anybody I know, and have a great knowledge. But personality, I'm gonna put it, I just don't like I think he's better than all the immature trash talk and stuff. So I'm gonna have to give him a 7, just because that part rubs me so much the wrong way.
Sure.
It's like, I want to love you so much, like you would be a 10, but just stop doing this one or two things. But that Rob's Rob. It's Rob being Rob, right? All right. So now what I got to do as we wrap up, we have gone beyond 90 minutes tonight, and we've maintained pretty much the same viewers throughout, which is really cool. Okay. So 28 plus 31 plus, and you guys chat while I'm doing this, because it's going to be boring for people to listen to me adding this up.
I'll do a thing, Sam, if it's okay.
Yeah,
it's a little self-promotion.
I love it. I'm gonna, while I add this up, I'm gonna actually remove that from the stage, and I'm gonna give you the full screen and let you self-promote.
Hello. Hi. I have 2 YouTube channels. If there's somebody in here that doesn't know who I am, West Coast Avengers, where I put out mostly weekly videos. I'm starting to step away from that, but me buying collections, me in Japan hunting for books, first person view. You get to come with me. There are some older interviews on my channel, including Stan Sakai and Todd McFarlane and people like that, Jim Rugg.
Daniel
I have
Warren Johnson.
Daniel Warren Johnson. But I have a podcast called Direct Edition. It also has a YouTube channel available on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, iHeartRadio. Sam's streaming it from his basement all the time too. He's got his own private streaming service. But it's called Direct Edition. It's now where all my interviews are going to go. This week I had the put up an interview with Larry Reed, who is the Fantagraphics bookstore manager for the entire existence of that bookstore, 20 years. Last week, Sean Japan Book Hunter, but even further back, Jeff Darrow, Mark Silvestri, Matteo Scolari, Daniel Warren Johnson, et cetera, et cetera. So I encourage you to subscribe to both and watch them, because I love comics more than most people understand how a person could love comics. Aside from that, I do a weekly live stream Wednesday. Tomorrow is a chat and chill. Next week is a sale. You can buy comics from me. Everybody in this on the screen has bought comics from me at one point or another.
Highly recommend.
Well, thank you. And what else? What else do I have to promote? Really, honestly, that's it. You know, I'm reprinting the Jack Kirby, The Many Faces of Jack Kirby, Volume 1. So that'll be here. If you don't know what that is, that you can just go on my website, WESTCOASTDAVENGERS.com. It's got its own section. And I have a Patreon, $5 a month. You get exclusive videos from both channels, plus every 2 months there is a exclusive sale on the Patreon, and you're going to buy some stuff that nobody else has access to. Other than that, I love comics. I love you, and I want you to love comics. And you don't have to love me, but just subscribe.
I love you, Dave.
I love you too, James.
I have to. I can't help myself.
Oh, well, it's nice to have.
I can't quit
a
you,
bear.
Dave. I can't quit you, Dave.